Um, but my favorite is rogues do it from behind. And then I still have it, but I lost it. I had a T-shirt that said "Rogues, the original gangsters,"
Yeah, absolutely.
like
I
gank.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Trust me. One of the guys in our guild, I think, what was it, 2 or 3 servers ago, he had a character named Adolf Krittler that was a rogue. He had Black Stabbeth. That was one of my favorites because he had to change Adolf Krittler to Black Stabbeth, which was really good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that one. And then hang on.
Working. Why is... Oh,
What's up?
my music is so loud. I don't remember it being this loud. Then again, I was really drunk.
Yeah. Alright, get everything settled in, make sure Twitch looks okay. Pull you guys down, pull Drew down. Okay. Do you wanna take part in this, Drew?
I mean, I don't know how relevant that
Yeah,
could be.
that's true. That's true.
I'll listen in if any. I mean, I'll comment if I need to.
Yeah, sure. That's perfectly fine. All right, I've got everything set up. I'll have to just push the highlight from Twitch over to YouTube because I was trying to get it to do both at the same time, but OBS running multiple instances is a pain in the ass. And I want to have the camera since I don't really have other people's cameras and stuff like that. Make sure I got everything else going. Actually, tell you what, I might just kick everybody out and you guys can just watch on Twitch while I do this, just because now I'm kind of nervous. Might move everybody down the channel. And then once I'm done with this, Drew, just because I don't plan on taking too long with it, we can go back to queuing up and everything like that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'll hang out.
so like I said, I'm going to try and keep it to about 30 minutes or so, just because I don't really have a lot of stuff to go over.
Sure.
So I'm going to do...
I'll take your time, man.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm just going to hide myself in a channel really quick and be right back. Okay. Testing. Alright, sweet. And... Alright, everybody, without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this off. My name is Bran. I play the character Ulrich on Emerald Dream, which is actually what you're looking at in the background right now. And this is going to be the first episode, and what I hope is going to be a long series of rogue podcasts. I came up with this idea a few days ago, just kind of off the top of my head, thinking that there are a lot of blogs, a lot of websites and things like that that have information specifically for a certain class or DPS or tanking or what have you, and I kind of wanted to quantify that and take something, you know, that I enjoy, which is my rogue right now, and just kind of give us our own little hangout, I guess you could say, somewhere where we could go and kind of, you know, goof off or just talk about rogues, changes that are going to be coming. You know, if there is actually a want for it, I would be absolutely thrilled to put on kind of a how-to when it comes to playing certain classes and things like that. But yeah, I mean, for now, it's really just going to be an informal, hey, how's it going? You know, this is the pilot episode, so, you know, here's to hoping we get picked up for another season. So let's get right into it. First off, I wanted to start with the mission statement for this podcast, and this is kind of like I said before. It's just dedicated to giving rogues across the World of Warcraft something to talk about. It doesn't matter if you're Horde, doesn't matter if you're Alliance, if you do PvP, if you do PvE. This podcast is for you, and it will be by you. And I'm really excited to kind of bring something like that out for everybody. And, again, I really am just going to take a couple of different segments, things like that, throw them together, ask some questions, talk about personal experiences. Again, maybe go into patch stuff, things like that. I'm not really sure. What the future will hold for it. Again, I just kind of threw this all together, and I decided that I needed to just get right into it and record it. I plan on having guest hosts. I had a couple lined up that ended up not really working out, which is neither here nor there. Again, a lot of short notice, so that is the theme of this episode, which is loosely titled Why We Stab. So when I started the ball rolling on the podcast, I definitely wanted to ask the community questions, and I actually wanted to save the segment for the end, but I really want to get right into it because there's a lot of really good things, a lot of really cool comments that I got from people, and it's really interesting hearing from people, hearing from the community why they do what they do, why they play what they play, and getting kind of their take on everything. So I posted on Reddit as well as the Battle.net forums a question, and I, again, will be doing this every week. More likely than not, now that the show is actually rolling, I'll ask the question at the end of the show, and then again, probably go back to Reddit and still put it in there and everything like that, just in case people don't really want to watch it. Don't blame me at all. So the first question is, why do you play Rogue? And again, it's a question I posted to Reddit, to the Battle.net forums, is a question that I, even asked some of my guild members and some former friends that I used to play with, things like that. I got a lot of really interesting and really diverse responses. I was really thrilled. I got the most out of Reddit, in all honesty, just as far as volume as well as quality of responses. Not to say that the guys over on the Rogue forums didn't give me good stuff. I think there was only like 4 or 5 of them that ended up posting. So without further ado, I just want to read through a couple of these and, just kind of go over them. The first one is from Empty Allocution, and if I botch that, I apologize. This is a Horde Rogue from the /r-wow subreddit. And when asked, why do you play a rogue? His response was, my first character was a rogue. I took a few years off to play Hunter, but I came back to rogue for Warlords of Draenor. I love the power we have over engagements. I will engage combat if I want, and if things aren't going well, I can stop said combat. The whole class ethos is down my street. I play thief-like characters in a lot of RPGs. They do need to nail down AoE, though. Seriously, tabbing to each target applying the debuff is so annoying, and our DPS sucks because of it. Blade Flurry is cool, but combat's energy regen feels gimped. And again, I don't really want to go into kind of this spec is better than that spec is better with these comments, so I'm going to hold all of those for after I finish the segment. Again, just because right now we're really just trying to build up why we do what we do. I mean, obviously, each one of us has our own unique idea as to how we could do it better, or how the class could be improved, or, just... Obviously, we should all work at Blizzard, and I say that jokingly. A lot of people out there have really good ideas, but at the end of the day, we have little control over it. So that was Empty Elocution from Reddit. Moving right along, another good comment that I got. This is from Callie Boa. And the answer is, it's a really big question. I started Warcraft in Warlords of Draenor and leveled as a paladin, playing protection. But I quickly grew bored and looked for alts. I leveled a priest, a shadow, and disc, as well as a druid, among other things. I eventually landed on a rogue. I love everything about this class. The 3 specs are all DPS specs, which is great for me, as I'm a hardcore PvE player, and I enjoy the min-maxing class perfection side of the game. Yet, even though the specs are all DPS, they're all individually and wildly different. I feel like a different class when I wield 2 swords as a combat rogue, or I taint my daggers and poisons as an assassination rogue. I really fell in love with the rogue in raid progression, though. After raiding through High Maul as a main tank and prop paladin, I decided to move on to the rogue as I joined another guild. Providing huge raid utility such as Smoke Bomb and Cloak of Shadows, and putting out huge DPS, as well as being single-handedly responsible for my guild's mythic Gruul kill with a clutch evasion to do the last 300k damage, I knew I was hooked. Rogue is awesome. They bring utility, a high skill cap, interesting play, and most of all, stealth is friggin' awesome. And I cannot begin to agree enough with you. And I really liked this one, actually, because of his little foray into just a great moment in playing a rogue. And we all have those moments, and that's one really awesome thing, is, you know, being a warrior, being a paladin, being a priest, that all of that, it doesn't really matter, because the one nice thing about Warcraft is it all unites us in these awesome little moments that we have. You know, whether it be sneaking in to Ironforge on the Horde and summoning up an entire raid in the flower shop as you go and you down the kings right under the nose of the Alliance, or sneaking in to Orgrimmar with your buddies using gliders like it's some sort of sweet 80s commando movie and just stabbing the ever-loving piss out of someone right in the middle of Orgrimmar and then vanishing off into the shadows, riding off into the sunset. It's awesome. We all have those moments. Doesn't even, you know, like I said, it doesn't matter whether you play a rogue, whether you play a warrior, whether you play a death knight. We all have those awesome moments, and as somebody in my guild chat just said, in the flower shop, never forget. It was a beautiful moment. Some of you watching the show may know or remember the very over-the-top charades, I guess you could say, that we had when we played on both Kil'jaeden as well as Emerald Dream. Moving right along, though, that was, again, that last comment was Caliboa from Reddit. Moving along, and this time I'm actually going to mix it up, and I am going to read one of the comments that I had from the actual official Blizzard forums. Let me find the comment here, because it seems to have escaped out from under me. Aha! Here we go. And this is a comment. This is from Vesper from the guild Snapped on US Deathwing. They are level 100 Assassination Rogue. I chose Rogue originally because the thought of being able to pick my fights, explode from the darkness with force left me very intrigued. Being able to slip around unnoticed is a huge power trip. Nobody knows you're there except you. And by the time they figure it out, it's already too late. Rogues used to be hated and feared, and I loved it. I still play Rogue, because I think it's one of the only classes left that still requires a certain flair and a certain amount of skill to be successful with. Also, Shadow Step is amazing. I can't really argue with that. And again, you know, the whole only class that requires flair, that's an argument for a different table. But I tend to agree. And again, that was Vesper from the guild Snapped on US Deathwing, bringing us that comment. I'm going to flip back over. I only have a couple more comments left, and then we'll kind of go on to some other stuff. This one actually kind of really hit home for me. This one is Tame the Brain from Reddit. When asked, again, why do you play Rogue? I mostly love the idea of the class. I play most RPGs with light armor and fast weapons. Killing quickly and avoiding damage is the most fun way to play. And I absolutely 100% agree with that. I think it's great. It's very nice. It's a very kind of snap on your feet play style. Be it, you know, whether you're playing a rogue in World of Warcraft, whether you're playing a rogue in Guild Wars 2, playing rogue-like characters in Star Wars The Old Republic, Dragon Age Inquisition, Dungeons and Dragons even. You know, that kind of, that mindset of hurt them before they hurt you, don't get caught. It's just, it's really fun. I really enjoy it. Again, that was Tame the Brain. And then moving on to Satsu012. My rogue was the very first character I created. A little background, I started playing 6 months after Vanilla launched. I had 2 friends who were playing the game, and I asked them what class I should play. Every other game I had played, I had always been a ranger, a rogue, a monk, a agility, dex-based DPS. And for the first time, I had reservations. I told my friends I couldn't decide between my traditional go-to or a warlock. I was fascinated by the demons you could summon up and the spells you could cast. So I made an argument to my friends about changing up my standard. My friends sat me down, looked me into the eyes, and said, "Warlocks suck. Play a rogue." I semi-reluctantly, because my friend left no room for pros and cons, created my character and began questing. I remember running around Loch Modan and the Badlands area, and I got jumped by a warlock 3 levels higher than me. I managed to hold out long enough to kill the warlock, although I died to a bear that I had aggroed. Since that day, I have not regretted nor quit my rogue. And that is another excellent, that was actually probably my favorite comment out of the whole bunch. Just because, I mean, it kind of covered all, it really went into nice detail compared to some of the other ones. And again, that was Satsu012 of Reddit. And then there's actually one more that I wanted to throw in here, which is just really an overarching theme. Again, there were actually a lot of comments that I got when I posed this question to Reddit. Some of them good, some of them bad. Kind of blew out into a really weird argument about what spec was the best and everything like that, but that's neither here nor there. Probably one of my favorite comments, and again, something that just kind of resonated regardless of where I went or where I posed the question. And this is from Alicia Lee from Reddit. I'm lazy, and as a rogue, I can stealth through shit I don't want to kill. I mean, yeah, what more do you need? You don't have, I mean, that's really it. Pack it up, go home, boys. We got it. That's why we play rogue. That's it. Dream's dead. Again, that was just a little snippet I wanted to add in there because I thought it was actually a really, really interesting comment. So again, the first episode was entitled Why We Rogue. And there's one thing that I really wanted to bring to the table, and this is more for future discussion and, for those of you watching either live or watching what I hope will be a decent YouTube recording, or even commenting on any of the Reddit threads that I've made in the past couple of days as I got the ball rolling on this particular podcast. And that is, I just want to make it resoundingly clear that it doesn't matter if you like to play assassination. It doesn't matter if you like to play subtlety. It doesn't matter if you like to play combat. It doesn't matter if you do PvP or PvE. None of that really matters because at the end of the day, we all play a rogue. I mean, I personally am a fan of combat rogue. Always have been. I think it's awesome. Well, granted, that's not the only spec that I play, and, I have no reservations about playing, anything but that. We all play rogue, and that's all that matters. I mean, which one's better is really, it's arbitrary. It's numbers. It's, this patch, this one's going to be better. The next patch, this one's going to be better. I know for PvP, it right now I want to say is combat rogue, and a lot of people are kind of, combat rogue's mongoloid. It doesn't matter. Who cares? We're all playing the same class. There's this one thing that unites all of us, and that we all do, and that we can all share in. So who cares? Whether or not you like to use 2 swords or 2 daggers, or if you like Shadow Dance, or Marked for Death, or Vendetta, or Death from Above, or, red buff killing sprees, or, who, doesn't matter. Yeah, I know, in response to the Twitch chat, yeah, there's a very shitty Shadow Priest, kind of standing right next to me. I don't really know where they came from, but whatever guild they're in should probably disband. So that's just one thing that I wanted to make clear just before we moved on. Is again, I mean, the whole premise of the show is that we all play rogue. So it really doesn't matter what we play or how we play it or why we play it, but that we play it. So I just wanted to clear that up. Again, the whole premise of the show is never to be a teaching you how to be the best, how to be the man, how to be the boss kind of thing. It's really just kind of just a fun place for us to goof off and stick around and just talk about being rogues. That being said, I am going to try and reach out to some people and potentially just have some higher profile people come and kind of co-host or even just answer questions, and just kind of get some exposure out there. And again, if there really does become a a want for it, I'll look into working with some people about doing, hey, here's how you can PvE better as a rogue, or PvP better as a rogue, or what have you. Moving right along, though. So we've handled the question of the week. We've kind of done a little bit about what we're going to do. If I had some co-hosts and things like that, I would have, kind of turned the floor over to them for their own answer to the question of the week, which of course obviously is why we rogue, and to answer that myself, because it's something that I kind of thought about, because interestingly enough, up until I actually most recently just started playing the game again. I hadn't really made a rogue. I had played a rogue throughout a little bit of Mista Pandaria, mainly for fun ganking, and that flower shop incident that I told you about before, and the assassinations in Orgrimmar. Used to play with a guild called the Ginger Snaps. I wasn't in their guild. I actually played with them. They were a really interesting guild of hitmen from Kil'jaeden, and then I want to say they went over to Emerald Dream, both Horde and Alliance. A bunch of really, really great rogues and a bunch of really, really entertaining guys that were not beyond camping the shit out of somebody if the gold was right. So again, I just kind of played it for fun. And that actually just changed recently when I came back, and I decided, you know what, I'm tired of playing a Death Knight, I'm tired of playing a Warrior, I'm kind of overplaying my Monk, let's play a Rogue. And here I am. So it's been a lot of fun, approaching it objectively, kind of looking at it differently than, I have to play this, I have to play that. This is what I wanted to play, and I've had a blast with it. I've absolutely had a blast with it. And actually, one of the reasons that I incorporated one of the answers that I got on the "Why do you play a rogue?" question was because the person in question had actually only started playing with Warlords of Draenor. One of the bigger arguments you see, regardless of what class you're talking about, or PvE or PvP, is always that, it was better then, or we look back with rose tinted glasses, and in some cases, yeah, PvP was better, or PvE was better, or one class was better than another class, that whole thing. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, unless you play on some different game modes, we'll say, you're really not going to be reliving those glory days. So why get frustrated over not being able to do all these cool things you used to do, and just find new cool things to do. So again, that's really another thing, is just not getting hung up in, it used to be better, things like that. Because again, as I said, I really never played a rogue before Mista Pandaria, so I don't really have a lot to go off of. I just picked a class that was fun, because I like the way that, that the class description read. Again, I play a combat rogue because I think it's fun. I have no, illusions about it being complex or anything like that. It's a fun class. It does what I want it to do. I get to use 2 swords. I get to wear leather armor, sneak around, punch people in the kidneys, throw sand in their face, steal their money. What's not to love? So, that being said, again, if co-hosts switch over to them, all that jazz. Again, bear with me. This is the very first time I've ever done a podcast or a Twitch talk show, or however you want to label it. So this is kind of new for me. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun. Didn't really have as much material prepared as I probably should have. But again, that's neither here nor there. I'm just doing this to have fun with it for the time being, and I truly hope you enjoy it, or find me entertaining, or see some sort of pity, or so. I don't really know what your motives are for that. So I'm going to go ahead and round out the show a little bit earlier than I had planned. Again, these are probably going to be in segments of about 30 to 45 minutes, based on the material that I can put together for, whatever the theme is, or, what have you. But I do want to pose the question for next week's episode, or next, the question of the week for next week, and that is going to be, why is your favorite spec your favorite spec? Why do you like playing combat? Why do you like playing subtlety? Why do you like playing assassination? It's kind of the same question that I had asked before, which is, why do you play rogue? And a lot of answers that I got previously will cover that. But again, if you're watching, even if you answered last week and you want to answer again, there's no reservations on that. Why do you like playing your spec? Why do you like, why do you like playing both of the specs you play? Why do you like being a combat rogue? Why do you like being a subtlety rogue? That sort of thing. And actually, we'll do a 2-part question. Since I actually got a couple of really nice responses previously, just without even asking the question, what are some memorable moments you've had on your rogue? Do you have any cool stories of clutch heroic gruel kills at the 11th hour when everybody else is dead around you. Sneaking into cities to stab people in the back just because. Let's hear from you about just those nice resounding moments that we all have where you're just like, fuck yes, I am playing the right class. This is what I want to do with Warcraft. This is awesome. So again, that question will be posted. I will post this video to YouTube as soon as it's done uploading. I will go ahead and put that question in the comments down below, in the comment section down below. Again, I will also probably link to the Reddit post if you'd like to post on Reddit, if you want to post a comment to YouTube. Again, my character's name is Ulrich, that is Aulrec. On Emerald Dream Alliance, I am the GM of the incredibly terrible guild, the Ash Legion, which some of you who are watching or who have followed me or who have played with me before may recall us from Kil'jaeden Horde. If you do remember that guild, I apologize ahead of time. That's really all I can say about that. But yeah, so, that will kind of conclude the first episode, more or less. Again, I thank you all for tuning in. And again, I really hope you enjoyed it. I do apologize for my my lack of professional podcasting ability. There was a lot of ums and a lot of pauses and a lot of fidgeting and things like that. Again, I'm very new to this, so this is something I'm going to be working on improving as time goes along. And again, if I can snag up some co-hosts, even just some guests for next week, I will definitely bring them along, kind of fill out the time a little bit better, and everything like that. So, yeah. Without further ado, this has been episode 1 of Cloak and Swagger, the Rogue Podcast. Episode 1, Why We Stab.